Talk about a disaster. Oh my God. Oh my God. Angel Reese with a disaster class backwards layup. I don't know what she was doing. She elbowing people in the mouth, dirty plays. This is insane. Talk about a disaster class. We have got to get into this, man. Angel Reese with one of the most horrible layups we are going to see in basketball history. And then she taunts a player.
The elbow connected with a sickening thud that echoed through the arena, leaving Chelsea Gray crumpled on the hardwood while clutching her face in agony. It was a moment that immediately sent shockwaves through the crowd and left the commentators in a state of pure disbelief. But instead of showing even a shred of concern for the veteran player lying on the ground, Angel Reese stood over her, taunting and talking trash as if she had just made a championship-winning play. This wasn't just a physical error or a common foul, it was a total collapse of sportsmanship on a night that was supposed to be a celebration of her brand. The league hasn't seen a meltdown this public or this aggressive in years, and the fallout was only just beginning for the self-proclaimed Barbie.
Yo, hold on, man. Wait a minute, man. Angel, come on now. Come on, man. What is this? You driving through the lane, and you just said, I'm about to just throw this up backwards. Yo, hey, yo, nah. Yo, what the fuck was that? That's yo. Look at where it hit on the rim. Look at where, dude. Come on, man. We got other stuff to get into. She did get it back and score. I'll give you the credit for that.
It was Barbie Night, a massive marketing event designed to showcase Angel Reese as the new face of the league and a rising global icon. Thousands of fans showed up in pink, expecting to see a dominant performance that would solidify her status as a superstar. Instead, the evening turned into what critics are calling a complete disaster class from start to finish. While the pink jerseys were supposed to signal a new era of dominance and fashion-forward basketball, the reality on the court was far more grim and embarrassing. Reese walked into the stadium with all the confidence in the world, but by the time the final buzzer sounded, that confidence had been replaced by a staggering 22-point blowout loss that nobody expected.
Man, we got other stuff to get into. She did get it back and score. I'll give you the credit for that. She got it back and scored. And then she talking crazy. Wait a minute. Look at it. Oh, man, come on. Come on, Angel. We can't do that. We can't do that. Now take a look at this. Dirty play. Flag on the play. Flag on the play. Take a look at this. Angel Reese. Uh-oh, here comes the mean, lean, tumbling machine. Take a listen.
The statistics tell a story of extreme frustration, but the eye test was even worse for those watching live. People are now pointing to a disturbing trend that is being called the Barbie Night curse. As Reese has now suffered a 3-game losing streak specifically on these themed nights, many believe it has become a documented reality. Angel is now 0-3 when the Barbie brand is on the line, losing to the Fever and the Aces in embarrassing fashion. The immense pressure of the marketing spotlight seems to be backfiring, leading to mental mistakes that look more like amateur blunders than the work of a professional athlete. This latest failure has ignited a massive firestorm of criticism across social media platforms, with fans demanding more substance and less hype.
What? That's crazy. Look at this. And she just taunting away. Look at Chelsea Gray like there ain't no way. There's no way y'all called that a foul on us. This girl elbowed her straight in the mouth. Dirty play. Come on, man. That's a dirty play. Look at Chelsea like, bro, I cannot believe they called that on us. I cannot believe that. I can't believe that. Now, it was Barbie Night, and here it says Angel Reese has yet to win on her Barbie Night since being in the WNBA. 0-3. Lost to the Fever, lost to the Aces. Angel Reese is 0-3.
Perhaps the most humiliating moment of the entire night came during what should have been a routine, wide-open drive to the basket. In a move that left the entire stadium and the coaching staff speechless, Angel attempted a bizarre backward layup that didn't even come close to hitting the rim. The ball hit the bottom of the backboard with a dull thud and fell harmlessly out of bounds, leaving the crowd in a state of confused, awkward silence. It was the kind of play you would expect to see in a middle school physical education class, not on a professional stage with millions of eyes watching every single move. The lack of fundamental execution in such a high-profile moment was a glaring red flag for her development.
Angel Reese has yet to win on her Barbie night since being in the WNBA. 0-3. Lost to the Fever, lost to the Aces. Angel Reese is 0-3 on Barbie night. They might need to cancel the entire event. But I will say this. Outside of those couple plays, Angel Reese, you played pretty well. Angel Reese played well. 23 points, 16 rebounds on 10 of 19 shooting. But hey, double-doubles apparently ain't good. Nope, we not crediting her. And Caitlin Clark don't get no credits for no 19 and 10 triple-doubles. Nope, double-doubles, nope. Nope. Y'all got smacked by 22 on...
Then came the violent moment that turned a struggling game into a full-blown controversy that the league will have to address. During a physical play in the lane, Angel's elbow swung out and caught Chelsea Gray directly in the mouth and nose area with significant force. It was a high-impact collision that left the Aces star defender gasping for air on the floor. In professional sports, players almost always offer a hand or a quick word of apology after such a hit. But what happened next was truly jarring and disrespectful. Instead of backing off or showing remorse, Angel began to taunt the injured player, shouting down at her while the referees desperately tried to regain control of the escalating situation.
Her and Caitlin Clark don't get no credits for no 19 and 10 triple-doubles. Nope, double-doubles, nope. Y'all got smacked by 22 on Barbie night. It is what it is. Nope, not entertaining it at all. I'm not entertaining it at all. This is the girl y'all said was better than Caitlin Clark.
Let's make call with USA Today. This question is for both of you. Obviously, tough game, but I wanted to know defensively, what did you like in the second half that you felt was working well? And also, I know you guys have talked about defense all season long.
Even the most seasoned veteran players on the opposing team couldn't believe the lack of class they were witnessing on the floor. Chelsea Gray's expression said everything the fans were feeling, a mix of total shock and pure disgust at the blatant lack of basic sportsmanship. To make matters even more controversial, the referees originally called the foul on the defender, which only added high-octane fuel to the fire. It felt to everyone watching like a protected star was getting away with a dangerously dirty play, and the atmosphere in the arena turned toxic almost instantly. This wasn't the inspiring image the league wanted to project to the thousands of young girls who came out to see their hero.
Okay, not sports related, but if you were a Barbie, which Barbie would you be, other than yourself?
Probably Serena Williams.
Oh, do you have one?
Angel.
I like that.
Want to flip over, Angel Reese. This past weekend, your organization had the giveaway for the community. Can you talk a little bit about that? Because we saw a lot of positivity with the Back to School Bash and how you serve the community. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I try to pour into every city that I'm in. Elena has shown me nothing but love.
The backlash from the incident was swift and merciless, and it wasn't just coming from anonymous trolls on the internet. Former players and respected analysts began dissecting the slow-motion footage, pointing out that the elbow looked entirely intentional, and the subsequent taunting was completely unnecessary. It raised serious questions about whether the sudden fame and the Barbie persona are starting to negatively affect her psyche and her respect for the game. When you're down by double digits and you're still acting like you're the greatest player on earth while hurting others, it rubs the basketball community the wrong way. It was a display of ego that many felt was totally unearned.
A lot of positivity with the Back to School Bash and how you serve the community. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I try to pour into every city that I'm in. Elena has shown me nothing but love since I've been here. I've only been here for 3 months, so just trying to get into the community, give back as much as I can, and hopefully some of the little kids felt a little bit more prepared going into the school year, maybe seeing me and me telling them have a great school year. could have definitely made their day, made their year. You see so many different kids that may not always have the opportunity to see someone like myself. So just giving them a feel of being able to see me and me handing them an actual backpack and just being around them, hopefully I gave them a little bit of inspiration.
As the lead for the Las Vegas Aces continued to balloon throughout the second half, the gap between the marketing hype and the on-court reality became impossible to ignore. Reese's team was getting smacked by 22 points on their own home court during their own special event. There is a general rule in sports: you can't talk that much trash when the scoreboard is telling a completely different and humiliating story. It was a humbling experience that should have resulted in a change of attitude or a moment of reflection, but the post-game comment suggested that the message hadn't quite sunk in yet. The disconnect between her words and the final score was absolutely staggering. During the post-game press conference, the mood in the room was somber and filled with tension. Reese tried her best to focus on her individual double-double, but everyone in the room knew those stats were essentially empty in the context of a blowout. 23 points and 16 rebounds might look impressive on a stat sheet, but when your team loses by 22 points, those numbers lose their shine and their meaning. It felt to many like she was trying to stat pad her way out of a total disaster, but the media members present weren't buying the narrative. A double-double doesn't mean much when your team is getting run off its own floor by a superior opponent. The team simply couldn't contain the transition plays, and they couldn't find a way to stop the bleeding during a disastrous second quarter. The Aces basically scored 30 points in every single period, representing a defensive collapse of epic proportions for a team that prides itself on grit. Reese and her teammates seemed completely lost on the court, unable to find the defensive identity they always talk about in interviews. It was a systematic failure that proved they aren't currently ready to compete with the truly elite, championship-level teams in the league. The Barbie brand might be financially strong, but the actual defense is currently made of thin glass. Even the non-sports questions during the press conference felt awkward and poorly timed, given the context of the massive loss. When a reporter asked which Barbie she would be if she weren't herself, Reese tried to play along with a smile, but the competitive energy was clearly gone. It's incredibly hard to promote a doll and a lifestyle brand when you just got finished elbowing a player in the face and losing a game by 20 points. The entire branding exercise felt forced and completely out of touch with the actual events that had transpired on the court. It was a stark reminder that, at the end of the day, this is a professional basketball league, not a scripted fashion show. There was a brief strategic mention of her community work, specifically her efforts handing out backpacks to kids in Atlanta during a back-to-school bash. While that is undoubtedly a noble cause that deserves some level of praise, many felt it was a calculated PR move to soften the blow of her aggressive on-court behavior. You can certainly be a hero in the local community, but if you're becoming known as a dirty player on the professional stage, that's the label that is going to stick with you for the rest of your career. The contrast between her curated community image and her mean girl persona on the court is creating a confusing narrative that fans are struggling to support. The Barbie Night curse is now a legitimate problem that the organization and the marketing team have to deal with moving forward. Being 0-3 on your own special giveaway nights is a statistically embarrassing fact that highlights a major lack of focus when the lights are brightest. Some critics are even suggesting that the team should cancel these elaborate events entirely until the roster can actually prove it can win a game under pressure. It's hard to inspire the next generation of young women when the main attraction is missing wide-open layups and getting blown out by 22 points. The irony of the evening was just too much for many fans to handle. The veteran leadership on the other side of the ball, specifically from stars like Chelsea Gray and Aya Wilson, showed exactly what a championship-caliber team looks like in the WNBA. They didn't need gimmicks, special nicknames, or pink accessories. They just needed to play high-level basketball. They exposed every single weakness in Reese's game. From her unrefined footwork to her emotional volatility under duress, it was a masterclass in how to dismantle a hype player who isn't yet ready for the big time. By the end of the night, it was clear that there is a massive hierarchy in the league, and Reese is currently sitting far below the elite championship tier. The film session following this game is expected to be one of the most brutal of the season for the young roster. Reese herself mentioned to the press that they need to learn how to take the next step, but that's far easier said than done when the fundamentals are missing. You simply can't fix a lack of emotional discipline or poor shooting mechanics overnight with a few words. The elbow, the taunts, and the missed backward shots are all symptoms of a much larger ego problem. If she truly wants to be in the same conversation as Caitlin Clark, she has to start acting like a professional who respects the game. Social media certainly didn't hold back in the aftermath of the game, as the memes and highlight reels were everywhere. The clip of the backward layup was being shown on a loop, garnering millions of views and thousands of mocking comments. It's the kind of embarrassing footage that follows a player for an entire professional career, regardless of what they do next. Every time she tries to talk about being the best in the world, that video will be there to remind everyone of the Barbie Night disaster. It's a harsh reality of the modern era. In the age of viral content, your failures are often much louder and more permanent than your successes. The big question now is how Angel Reese will choose to respond to this massive wave of negativity and criticism. Will she lean even further into the villain persona that she seems to embrace? Or will she finally take a page out of Clark's book and let her actual game do the talking for once? The league is currently at a crossroads, and Reese is undoubtedly one of the most polarizing figures in the sport today. Some fans love her unapologetic and brash attitude, but an increasing number of people see it as a toxic influence that harms the growth and reputation of the WNBA. This game against the Aces felt like a definitive breaking point for many fans. Despite the light at the end of the tunnel that Reese mentioned during her closing remarks, the road ahead for her and the team looks incredibly steep and full of obstacles. Staying together as a team is one thing, but performing under the intense pressure of the national spotlight is another challenge entirely. The highs and lows she described are becoming more frequent lows than highs as the competition gets tougher. If the organization wants to be taken seriously by the rest of the league, it needs to start prioritizing winning games over selling merchandise. The Barbie era is off to an incredibly rocky start, and the fans are losing patience. At the end of the day, the numbers don't lie, and neither does the game film that will be studied for years to come. Caitlin Clark continues to set the gold standard for what a rookie can achieve through a combination of hard work, humility, and poise. Meanwhile, Angel Reese is finding out the hard way that you simply cannot talk your way to the top of a professional league. The Barbie Night failures weren't just a bad game, they were a massive wake-up call for everyone involved. The world is watching every single move she makes.